Clear your mind and close your eyes. Imagine yourself at the dawn of humanity, in an era when history had yet to be written. Civilization had not yet blossomed, no great cities had been built, not even writing had been invented. The earth was a very different place. The sky was not empty and silent as it is today. Back then, the heavens were home not just to birds, but to other beings as well. These beings possessed divine powers that humans both admired and feared. They were a whispered secret in sacred texts and ancient manuscripts. Half god, half human, born of a forbidden love. They were the Nephilim. Who were these Nephilim? How did they come into being? And why were they so feared? To find the answers to these questions, we turn to some of the oldest records in history, the Book of Enoch and the Torah. These sacred texts take us to a time when the heavens and the earth were shaken by a forbidden love that brought the Nephilim into existence. Imagine the most perfect beings created by God, angels with radiant wings gliding through the skies. These divine beings, whose mission was to protect humanity and teach God's commandments, one day became enchanted by the beauty of human daughters. This forbidden desire turned into a rebellion that shook even heaven itself. And from this alliance, from the union of the divine and the mortal, were born their children, the Nephilim. In the Book of Enoch, the Nephilim are described as the mightiest beings to walk the earth. The ancient text states, their height reached 450 feet, and their appetites were insatiable. Picture these colossal beings, taller than even the tallest skyscrapers of today, giants whose every step made the earth tremble, and for whom even mountains seem small. They possessed extraordinary strength, knowledge, and an exceptionally long lifespan. Humans both admired them and were terrified of them. Some worshipped them as gods, seeking their favor, while others detested them, seeing their existence as a disruption of the natural order. The Book of Enoch tells of how, over time, the Nephilim became corrupt. Their power made them arrogant and ruthless. They consumed everything humans produced, hunted animals, and destroyed nature. Some sources even claim that they began to feed on human flesh. Great chaos and terror reigned on Earth. Humans were powerless against the terrible might of the gods they had created. The reign of the Nephilim and the terror they wrought lasted for centuries. But nothing lasts forever. Dark clouds began to gather in the heavens. The wrath of the gods was a harbinger of an impending catastrophe. The Great Flood. Some ancient texts and legends speak not only of the destructive giants among the Nephilim, but also of individuals who mastered wisdom, the arts, and strategy. They were a race that taught humanity various crafts, agriculture, astronomy, and even writing. It was as if they were teachers sent from the heavens. Consider the oldest and most mysterious structures in world history: the pyramids of Egypt, the ruins of Machu Picchu in Peru, Stonehenge in England. It is difficult to explain how these massive stone constructions were built with the primitive technology of that era. What if the extraordinary knowledge and power of the Nephilim were behind these structures? What if they helped humans build these incredible monuments? Some researchers claim that the massive skeletal remains and unusual tools found in the regions where these ancient structures were built are evidence of the Nephilim's existence. Of course, concrete scientific evidence to support these claims is still lacking. Yet these mysterious remnants continue to fuel our imaginations and prompt us to question. Legends tell us that the Nephilim taught humans not only the art of construction, but also astronomy, astrology, medicine, and even the mysterious art of magic. But how did this collaboration take place? Why would the Nephilim want to help humanity? Or was there a darker purpose behind this sharing of knowledge? Like any power, knowledge can be dangerous. When used by the wrong hands, it can lead to destruction and chaos. Unfortunately, some of the Nephilim began using this power and knowledge for their own gain. They began to look down on humans, viewing them as mere slaves serving their pleasures and needs. They exploited, oppressed, and proclaimed themselves as gods. The story of Goliath, told in the Torah, is a concrete example of how the Nephilim could be a threat. Goliath, the massive warrior of the Philistine army, taunted the people of Israel, mocking them and fearlessly challenging them to send out a warrior. Goliath descended from the Nephilim, and his strength was unmatched. His gigantic size and superior power symbolized the physical and psychological dominance the Nephilim held over humans. The story of Goliath marks a turning point for the Nephilim. They had begun to act with a desire for destruction and domination rather than creativity and cooperation. But how far could this continue? How would the Nephilim's greed and selfishness lead them and all of humanity to disaster? In the next chapter, we will explore the event that changed the fate of humanity and the Nephilim forever, the Great Flood. Was this catastrophe the end of the Nephilim, or did they somehow manage to survive? The Nephilim, a mysterious race that ruled the earth with their power, both fascinating and terrifying humanity. In the previous chapters, we witnessed their birth, rise, and eventual corruption, but nothing could last forever. The disorder and chaos the Nephilim created disrupted the balance of the earth, shaking both the foundations of nature and the human soul. And it was at this point that one of the greatest catastrophes in human history occurred: the flood. In nearly all ancient cultures, we encounter stories of a great flood, a time when the earth was submerged by the wrath of the gods, when humanity's sins and the destruction they caused were cleansed by massive waves. From the Epic of Gilgamesh to the biblical flood of Noah, similar stories echo from all corners of the world. But did these floods really happen? Were they merely the product of myth or a reflection of reality? Geological evidence and changes in sea levels show that significant floods and deluges did occur in prehistoric times. But what was the true cause of these floods? Were they just natural disasters, or were they the result of a higher power's intervention, perhaps even God's? And if so, was there a connection to the Nephilim? Some religious texts suggest that the flood was sent as divine punishment for the Nephilim's destructiveness and humanity's corruption. The Nephilim, with their divine blood, had disrupted the order of creation, leading humanity into greed, violence, and immorality, provoking the wrath of God. The flood was a divine intervention meant to cleanse the chaos and sin, and to give the earth a new beginning. In the Book of Enoch, God speaks to the fallen angel Semyaza, saying, "The whole earth shall be destroyed. The waters of the flood are coming to wipe out everything that exists." During this catastrophe, God commanded the prophet Noah to build an ark to protect humanity and other living creatures. Noah and his family, along with pairs of every animal on earth, sought refuge in the ark and were able to survive the wrath of the flood. But how did the Nephilim fare during this catastrophe? Did any survive God's wrath? Some researchers and historians suggest that the flood may not have been the end for the Nephilim, but rather a new beginning. According to this theory, some Nephilim managed to survive and found hidden places in the New World where they continued to exist. There are some clues that support this theory. The legends of certain cultures suggest that giants continued to live after the flood and even interacted with humans. For example, the myths of Native American tribes and European folklore tell of people encountering giants after the deluge. Additionally, the discovery of massive skeletons and mysterious megalithic structures around the world lends further credence to this theory. What kind of world did the earth become after the flood? Did the Nephilim truly survive? And if they did, where did they go? While some religious texts suggest that the flood marked their end, some researchers propose that a few may have survived. But what if these claims are true? What if the Nephilim secretly continued their existence in the New World? Reports and discoveries from around the globe, especially from the Americas, compel us to think again. From the legends of Native American tribes to the astonishing findings of archaeologists, the traces of lost giants seem to call out to us from the past. Hidden in the deserts of Nevada is Lovelock Cave. According to the legends of the Paiute people, this cave was once the lair of red-haired giants they called Sit-Tika. These giants hunted humans and, as mentioned in some stories, even fed on them. Eventually, the Paiutes united against these fearsome creatures, trapping them in the cave and setting it on fire to destroy them. Interestingly, during guano excavations in Lovelock Cave in 1911, skeletal remains much larger than human bones, massive footprints, and strange tools were indeed uncovered. These findings seem to confirm the Paiute legends and provided strong evidence that giants once inhabited the region. But Lovelock Cave was only the beginning. Similar discoveries continued to emerge from various parts of America. In Ohio's Serpent Mound, excavations in the late 1800s revealed skeletons over 3 meters tall and gigantic stone coffins. At California's Giant Rock National Monument, colossal granite rocks considered sacred by the indigenous people, along with mysterious symbols etched into them, further reinforced the belief that giants once lived in the area. So why, despite so much evidence, are the Nephilim still regarded as mere myth? Some researchers argue that there has been a cover-up, and the truth has been hidden from humanity. At the center of these claims is the Smithsonian Institution. Allegedly, this world-renowned museum has been collecting and then destroying evidence of giants for years. Their goal, according to the conspiracy, is to rewrite human history and sever us from our true past. But what is the truth? Are these gigantic skeletons merely natural anomalies, or are they truly evidence of a race that ruled the world before us? And if so, what brought about their end? The Nephilim. Giants, demigods, a mysterious race that ruled the earth before humanity. We have searched for them in sacred texts, archaeological remains, and even in modern scientific discoveries. But what if their story reaches deeper, into the very layers of human consciousness and cultural memory? What if myths and legends are merely faded reflections of their existence? When we look more closely at the world mythology, we find giants, demigods, and heroes with supernatural powers in almost every culture. The Titans of Greek mythology, the gods who ruled from Mount Olympus, and their complex relationships with humans. The giants who lived in the vast world tree, Yggdrasil of Norse mythology, enemies of the gods yet also a source of wisdom. And of course, the heroic King Gilgamesh of Mesopotamia, a demigod who sought immortality and battled with the gods. These mythological figures are all familiar to us, aren't they? Enormous in size, possessing superhuman powers, embodying both wisdom and arrogance, anger and destruction. But what if these figures are merely different cultural reflections of the Nephilim? What if their stories passed down through generations, evolved and transformed into myths and legends? Consider, for example, the concept of the Neter in Egyptian mythology. These were semi-divine beings who ruled Egypt after the flood and brought civilization to humanity. They taught people writing, agriculture, astronomy, and other essential knowledge, just like some of the Nephilim who guided humanity in ancient times. Or take the Titans from Greek mythology. Known for their colossal size, incredible strength, and defiance against the gods, they, like the Nephilim, caused great chaos and destruction on Earth. Eventually, they were defeated by the Olympian gods, led by Zeus. Much like the flood stories we've encountered, perhaps these myths also symbolize the struggle between the Nephilim and a higher power that wiped them from the face of the earth. Of course, we don't have to take all these mythological figures literally, but ignoring them entirely would be a grave mistake. Myths are reflections of humanity's collective unconscious, mirroring our deepest fears, hopes, and beliefs. And perhaps the story of the Nephilim lies at the root of these myths and legends. One of the first theories put forward to explain the enormous size of the Nephilim is gigantism, a condition caused by a tumor in the pituitary gland, leading to excessive production of growth hormone. There are still people suffering from gigantism today, and historical figures like Robert Wadlow, who reached the height of 2.72 meters, are notable examples. However, even these sizes pale in comparison to the Nephilim described in myths. Moreover, gigantism often leads to various health problems and a shorter lifespan, whereas the Nephilim were said to live for many years and possess immense strength. How then do scientists explain this discrepancy? Another exciting discovery in recent years comes from the Denisovans. In 2008, fragments of bones and teeth belonging to an unknown human species were found in a cave in Siberia. Genetic analyses showed that the Denisovans lived during the same period as Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, and they even interbred with them. We don't know exactly what the Denisovans looked like. However, some researchers believe they were larger and stronger than Homo sapiens, with some estimating their height to be around 2.5 meters. This raises the question: what if the Nephilim aren't entirely a myth, but an exaggerated portrayal of Denisovans or another yet-to-be-discovered human species? There is further scientific evidence supporting this theory. For instance, megalithic structures found around the world require a level of knowledge and engineering far beyond the capabilities of the people of that era. Some researchers suggest that the Nephilim, or their descendants, may have helped construct these structures. While science struggles to provide concrete evidence of their existence, the traces they left on the world have not been completely erased. For some, these traces point to the greatest and darkest cover-up operation in human history. In the depths of the internet, countless conspiracy theories circulate, reinterpreting the story of the Nephilim, assigning them new roles and hidden agendas. Some claim that the Nephilim survived the flood and still live among us. Some see them as a superior race dwelling in secret underground cities, while others view them as a shadowy force that secretly controls the world. One of the most widespread and intriguing of these theories is the claim that secret organizations and governments actively conceal information about the Nephilim. These groups are said to be rewriting history, keeping humanity ignorant of the truth, and using the Nephilim's technology and power for their own gain. But why? Why is the truth about the Nephilim seen as so dangerous? Some conspiracy theorists go even further, asserting that the true origin of the Nephilim is more astonishing than we could imagine. According to them, the Nephilim are representatives of an extraterrestrial race, the ancient aliens. These beings came to Earth millions of years ago and genetically manipulated humanity, creating us in their image. The flood, they argue, was a method used by these alien gods to end a failed experiment. Supporters of this theory point to ancient astronaut figurines, UFO sightings, and unexplained technological artifacts found in various places around the world. Of course, much of this evidence is controversial and lacks solid scientific backing. Yet it still stirs the imagination and urges us to question: how credible are all these conspiracy theories? Naturally, we don't have to take them all seriously, but they remind us of an important lesson: to seek the truth, to question, and to never accept any information without scrutiny. Perhaps the real story of the Nephilim is even more complex and surprising than these theories suggest. Dear friends, we've reached the end of our journey, aimed to discover the truth about the Nephilim. Together, we have sifted through the dusty pages of history, delved into the mysterious world of myths and legends, uncovered clues offered by science, and explored the dark depths of conspiracy theories. We've examined countless stories and information about the Nephilim, witnessed their immense power, the impact they had, and their mysterious disappearance. Yet, even after all of this, one question remains unanswered: did the Nephilim really exist? It's impossible to provide a definitive answer to this question. The evidence we have is fragmented, difficult to interpret, and often contradictory. Sacred texts describe them as a sinful race cursed by God, while mythology casts them in roles as both heroes and monsters. Archaeological findings are intriguing, but science has yet to reach a solid conclusion. Meanwhile, conspiracy theories paint them as powerful beings, hiding in secret underground cities, or secretly controlling the world. Perhaps the Nephilim are merely a reflection of humanity itself, a warning about the dangers of power and corruption, or perhaps a longing for a lost past, a bigger and more mysterious world. Maybe they represent the contradictions within us, our capacity for both good and evil. We may never fully uncover the truth about the Nephilim, but their story reminds us of something important: the value of questioning, exploring, and being curious. The truth is not always on the surface. Sometimes, to uncover the deepest secrets, we must take a step into the unknown, questioning our own beliefs and assumptions. This video was not meant to provide definitive answers to the mystery of the Nephilim. The goal was to make you think, spark your curiosity, and inspire you to do your own research. I hope that our journey has ignited your imagination, prompted you to ask new questions about history and humanity. Perhaps one day, together, we will unveil the curtain on this ancient mystery. I'm Ethan Godfrey, and every week I upload a new video for you. For more interesting and exciting videos, please support my channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. Also, I would really like to know your ideas about the topics of my new videos. What would you like me to talk about? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I really appreciate your support and hope that together we'll make this channel grow. Until next week, take care and stay tuned.